Alright, this is part 2. I'm gonna try to do rapid fire and go through my cards. I didn't realize I had so many for this particular case, reading a murder case. Alright, so I think this is Larry's energy, to be honest with you. But we'll do rapid fire. Okay, so we have the Three of Pentacles, speaking with a friend. So a goal, a manifesting, a nobility, glory, great, renowned, or respected tradesmen or workers, fun with artistry. So that's finance, financial, business, health, education, building, and materials. And then we have the Two of Swords, a false friend. False friend. Difficult choices, indecisions, stalemates, a conflict between heart and mind, balance in conflict, alternatively, friendship and harmony, a stalemate, or a tripe. And that has everything to do with aggression, conflict, communication, force, movement, and intellect. So there seems to be a lot of secrets or a lot of things that were coming up in this whole case around Larry and Rebecca, and I was just like, this is ridiculous. And then we have the King of Swords. King of Swords, a very dark elderly man, or a sexuality lily. So it could be either one. But there's some kind of third party involved, or so it may seem. Maybe they discovered a third party within their relationship. The power in life and death, the king negates the excesses of the queen. So there was aggression, conflict, communication, force, movement, intellect. So very old-fashioned relationship, or maybe Larry was very old-fashioned in being a provider. Then we have the Three of Cups, which is a salute or honor, respect, friendship, a spontaneous, unexpected joy or pleasure, love, partnerships, subconscious intuition, connections, emotions. So they're probably meeting Rebecca, or Rebecca meeting somebody. It's somebody introducing a third party into the mix. Then we have the Seven of Cups. The Seven of Cups is usually, choices. So business or good luck, health, tree, dreams and desires, love, relationship, subconscious intuition, connections, and emotions. So it has to be one of those categories, but I still think it's a third party being introduced or being thought about. And as you know, like I said in part 1, Rebecca was kind of a call girl. Now we're going to move on to the Wonderland ones, which doubles up on the Three of Cups. Three of Cups, happy situation to a problem, happy solution to a problem, joy, dancing, healing of the soul, victory, solitude, partial fulfillment, or compromise. So it might have been a breaking point. Love, relationship, subconscious, intuition, connections, emotions. Then we have the Ten of Wands. The Ten of Wands is giving an excessive burden, being controlled by possessions, a faithful servant, the pressure of maintaining a lie or disguise, selfishness, loser of a dispute. So there had to be somebody who, in this, either outside the relationship or within the relationship, that was the loser of a dispute or argument. And I believe it was Rebecca. And, yeah, she was kind of plotting her own, like, revenge release, as the Ten of Wands, accesses with passions, creation, ambitious spirits, intuition, and expansion. So then we have the Knight of Pentacles. The Knight of Pentacles is finance, business, health, education, building, and materials. Again, mature and responsible, reliable, patient, persistent, organized, dependable, confident, and spiritual. So this could be a lot of things going on at the current moment, trying to find a solution to a problem or trying to overcome a problem. Might have been asking for advice outside of the relationship because due to education, mentioned in here. Then we have the moon. Around that time, the moon was like a waning crescent. So it was kind of like a half moon, maybe. So there is some wonky stuff with the moon. Deception in all its forms, trickery, deceit, conjuring, bad motives, dishonesty, false friends, false pretenses, unknown enemies, a trap, being led to ruin. So, once you think a thing is solved, it's not. So yeah, there's a lot of things in play, and we'll get to the astronomy part in a minute. I'm trying to do this as fast as I can because I love the astronomy part. It's amazing. Alright, and then we have the Wheel of Fortune. The Wheel of Fortune is an interest in tarot and waxing and waning. I know I do. So birth and death, anything unusual or beyond conscious control, the beginning and the end, resolution, good or bad luck, going towards or retreating into trouble, positive or negative, depending on surrounding cards. It's kind of building up, so alright, so let's do the angels, and then we'll go to the astronomy part of this whole thing, which is going to be fun. Alright, and then we have Gabrielle, the Angel of Heralds. So, lantern, mirror, a discovery. We have a shame, which is animation, a hood, an eclipse, a empty field. So there's some kind of idea that's being granted, or a distance, because she was in a gym, in the backyard gym, and he was inside, so there's an empty field amongst them. And then we have the Angel of Truth, wine, torch, a bleeding eye. There's a camera somewhere with the evidence on it that shows her going into the shed and maybe a gunshot before or after, and I don't think that the police got that. Then we have the Angel of Mysteries, again, a book of mask codes. So she was wearing a mask and she was lying, or there's some kind of evidence that was overlooked, maybe on a bookshelf, maybe there were codes on the table, maybe codes on the phone, maybe there was a lock system on certain things in the house that they overlooked. And then we have the right hand of apathy, kindness, charity, love. So one was giving love while the other one was giving a right leg of endurance. Victory, exercise, leadership. So she went to the gym. And then we have the Angel of Song. The Angel of Song is a horn, a setting sun, a flame. So everything kind of happens after this setting sun. So very interesting prospect. And then we have the Angel of Sky. And that's a great segue to what we're doing next. So a shield, a ring, a blessing, a hand. So somebody took being married as a sacred relationship, whereas somebody else was kind of like it wasn't very important to them. It was like a means to an end, which is really weird. Anyway, on Friday, the 1st of February in 2008, Venus and Jupiter were conjoined about 1.5 degrees apart on that Saturday. What that means is religious, intelligent, rich, learned person, well-liked person. So wealthy and a wealthy marriage partner. So yeah, the sky tells a story. It sets a scene. And then we have the crescent moon and a star that's in Medusa's head, which is called the demon's head. If you've ever seen the Medusa star, it's actually two dwarf stars that alternate. They rotate around each other. Either it's yellow, it's blue, or it's going to be red. So at this moment in time, it's going to be red. And so the crescent moon looks like a sickle, a symbol of fertility and life and death and the change of seasons. So this is right on, like, right over Medusa. The head of Medusa is active. Usually it's not a bad star if it's blue, but it's a bad star if it's red. So that was setting it up. And then we have the waning crescent moon on February the 3rd, and that would be the Super Bowl. And then we have Venus and Jupiter. So the waning crescent moon is surrender. It's out of your control. Let fate and destiny take what's theirs. It's courage. It's truth. So that's pretty crazy. And then we have the final words from the deceased, Larry. We have relationships and friendships are put at risk. Petty squabbles, misunderstandings, miscommunication abound. Something will slow down the mental process. He also governs banking, so delay money matters. So there was somebody in this case that if it was like a life insurance policy, they stopped the life insurance policy. He goes on to say, working hard or smarter. The oldest way of doing things is getting us to where we need to be, as effective as possible. Are we blocking ourselves from progressing due to perfectionist tendencies? If we shine a light on these issues, allowing us to make adjustments as needed. So, a very wise words from the deceased. It's very interesting how astronomy works in like death cases. You don't think that the sky talks to you after people pass on, but it sure does. When my grandmother passed, she was a character. She loved her son to a point of blindness. So she was blind to all his flaws and stuff. So and she was a Taurus. So naturally, she had her constellation of Taurus the day that she passed, with a V in the middle of her forehead, and Orion feeding her grass, feeding the Taurus constellation grass. So I thought that was comedic. But my grandfather, on the other hand, who is a very just and fair person to everybody, he had the Ursa Major in the sky. Ursa Major is like kind of like who he was. He was a great family person. He was a fair person. He was a World War II veteran. He was an attorney, later a judge in New York City. And, you know, he just loved talking to people, trying to be fair with them, trying to make sure that people could find jobs, even if, like, they had to do community service. But he did have to convict some murderers because they were hurting people. And my mom was bail bonds around that time, too. So She had to take in a lot of people, and he was like overseeing a lot of who she had to take in. And he was like, what did he do? And she was like, he continues. Um, but yeah, it's a very different world being in law and order and trying to be fair with everybody. You can't always be like iron fisted. You have to be fair. So I thought it was really like pretty cool that he was Ursa Major. That was the first constellation that I found in the sky, and it was, he knew everything about astronomy and bird watching and other stuff, about nature. So it was really interesting that he would show me my first constellation, Ursa Major. So anyway, I thought this would be entertaining. It's something new, something different. I think the next one is going to be a little bit abstract, and hopefully without too much confusion, we can solve a crime together. This was kind of cut and dry. They already caught her in the act and did all this and made sure Larry got justice. But the next one, it's going to be kind of an old case, one of the cold cases, and it will bring up a lot of issues by the end there that you guys might want to think about. But in this one, it was more cut and dry. I thought I'd start off with something very easy to understand. Somebody who went from being, sweet woman to a lying woman to Medusa who wanted whatever she wanted. Isn't that weird how the Greek stories come into play with the stars and stuff? But yeah, Medusa is one of my favorites. Constellation. Her head is like in Percy, and Percy was the one that cut off the monster's head. But every now and again, Percy fades and Medusa's left, so what are you gonna do? But yeah, I mean, the old story of Medusa, she was, a priest that was really beautiful. She gets raped. Her guardian, that guardian temple that she was watching was Athena, I think. And Athena's justice for her was to turn her into a dragon. That was a bit much. But yeah, I mean, I think it all goes without saying that it was just because it proves a lot of actions about human nature also. So some people, they just change or they want revenge, and it's just too much, and it's just, you have to have some way to explain that, and the constellations do that for a lot of people. So if you want like stories, we have a few more of these to do, and hopefully it'll be a nice change of pace for most people that like crime and stuff. But I do this all the time, and my mom's amazed. So I will see you in the next case, which I don't want to leave any spoilers, but I don't want people to like tune out. But anyway, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be an old one. Anyway, I'll see you in the next one, alright? Bye now.